All right, welcome to this ARML game. This is the second round in which I am playing with Zelkin is my Kamicha. That's Steve A. Ghost Will is my Toyman, Ben H. And then Q is my Shimocha, and that's Aldwin G. Yeah, so anyways, this is the first game in the second round. And I don't really have much to say about this one, except I think I played pretty well, despite the result. But we'll go ahead and see if my
Wow.
memory serves me correctly. Were you about to say something?
You spoil it. You said despite the result, implying that you got a poor result.
Well, who knows? Yeah, actually, yeah, it does. All right. Let's see here. Do I have? Yeah, should be fine. All right. I just realized this. Is this sound on? Why is? There we go. That might be too loud, actually. There we go. All right, Dora is 2-pin.
Boom.
So like, what are you planning on doing with this hand?
Probably just reach Dora is the most likely scenario. Is what I'm thinking.
I mean, that's probably fine, but the shape is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Are you looking for cheat toy?
Yeah, I mean, if I get another pair, then sure. But now I'm thinking it might be like more reasonable to get to finish this hand through Tanyao. So that's why I threw the pair of one mon. Please
now
tell me
what?
I fold. What?
Yeah, but like you fold with 7, so and then what?
And then what? Do I fold? I fold. And then the sumo happens. Okay. Nothing much to say there. This one, I guess at the start of each hand, should I just talk about what I'm?
Go back to. I want to see their. Huh. I don't think most players would Riichi this. Like you're supposed to, but like most players wouldn't.
Most players wouldn't.
I mean, would you Riichi this?
You said you're supposed
I wouldn't.
to. You said you're supposed to, though.
You're supposed to because according to Riichi Book 1, you have one other Han other than Riichi, so you're supposed to Riichi.
Ah. But most people wouldn't? I mean, if you don't, it's just Tanya only. Like if you're wrong, right?
Yeah. But like it goes from 13 to like 26. And if you draw like 5 mon.
You have to draw 5 mon.
No, you don't. You could also draw 2 or 4 mon or 5 so for Sananko.
Oh, yeah, Sananko.
Yeah, there's a lot of value upgrades. I wouldn't reach it right away. Plus, you could still roll.
Yeah, so like digitally you're supposed to Riichi, but there's a hand that I could very easily see not declaring Riichi immediately.
Okay.
Okay, so go on. What was your plan for this hand?
What was my plan for this hand? I guess I probably won't be able to remember my thought process every hand, but for the purposes of this Paifu review, every starting hand I see, I guess I'll talk about it as if I was seeing it for the first time, right? Because it should be relatively similar. My thought process then and my thought process now.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So anyways, I feel like it could be Paifu. It's possible. It's possible. I think it's a decent enough hand that has a okay chance of finishing. So that's why I throw the Hatsu first. And then I keep the Haku because there's one discarded by the dealer. So I'll keep that as a safe tile for them.
So like this dealer's double tone Dora cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. Does that
Oh,
change your
sorry.
evaluation?
Is that what? Sorry, let me turn you up, Simon. All right, there you go.
The dealer double tone Dora cut turn 2, does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, it does mean something to me. I mean, it's definitely interesting. Like, oh, that probably means they're like, well, clearly they don't need it, right? So they wouldn't. They're either close, or they have really good shape, and they don't need another block.
See, I'm not sure that you can assume that given this playing field.
Given
It's
this playing field.
yeah, so it's very common, especially with like online players, that they'll just say like, "Well, I don't need the Dora, even though I'm like 3 Sean 10, whatever," and just cut it as
Oh,
fast as they can so that no one can call it. And I think a lot of Western players subscribe to that train of thought or that way of thinking.
interesting.
So this is where like actually going through and looking at their Paifu from previous games to see or looking for like this sort of thing among other things, that's where this would be the most helpful.
Okay, so just as a future tip, going through people's paifus, looking to see where interesting cuts are, like Dora cuts. When do they cut Dora?
I mean, that's
Would be
probably
helpful. Okay.
yeah, cutting like when they decide to cut the door is probably like one of the more useful things you can get
Okay.
from watching their Paifu because it's usually going to be pretty consistent. It'll be like, well, they cut the door as fast as they can. If they're like, well, I probably won't use it, and they just cut it right away, or they hold it right until Tempai. And both of those things give you information when playing against them.
Interesting. Okay. I guess after this hand finishes, we can take a look at what.
Okay, so what about the middle extreme then? Like, how do you define that?
What do you mean?
You described two extremes, right? Cutting it immediately or cutting it, like when they're tempai. Is there something in the middle?
Usually, no. Yeah.
I mean, well, I think cutting at one tempai also includes like cutting when you're not necessarily a tempai, but it's all just good shapes that you don't want to cut down further.
Yeah. It's like their hand is really good and they're cutting it, which is usually when they're Tempai, or I mean, good shape Ishan 10, or like really good shape Vianshan 10, or just cutting it from whatever, just because they are like, well, I probably won't use it.
Hmm.
So I don't think there is that much of a middle ground, or it would be kind of hard to use that information anyway. Like
That's fair.
just being able to see like which extreme that the players tend to move towards or tend to like follow, that gives you a lot more information when you see them cut the Dora, when you're actually on the table with them.
So in the case where you don't know, what should you react to it, or how should you interpret it?
I mean, you should probably just pay more attention to them, but
Okay.
they'll probably end up like you saw that last hand, right, where they Riichi even on that hand that you probably wouldn't normally Riichi.
Okay.
So you should assume that if they're going to cut the Dora, they're not going to Dama.
Okay.
So like you could pay attention, but you don't have to worry too much about like dealing into Dama 12,000, especially with Akanashi.
Right. Okay. That
You
makes
only
sense.
deal in like 17% of the time to Mongon.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That's true. Actually, let me recheck the stats. Let me see if it's
Wait, does that include sumos?
It's all, yeah. So
Way
So
less.
it's probably
what Brian
lower,
was referencing
right?
was the like the stats.
So dealing in is probably less likely to be Mangan, right? Because sumo gives you the extra Han.
Right.
Is that
That's
true?
true. That's true. That's true.
Also, it's like a Mahjong no Riichi, man.
Yeah, get that Hanuman.
Yeah, so in the ARML, currently the statistics are 17% of all winning hands are Mongans. 17.0. Okay, moving on. Oh, and they miss. Yeah, actually, yesterday I was playing my third round of ARML games, and I was like, I saw one of my starting hands, and I was like, oh man, this is trash. And then I drew another Dora so I paired up the Dora, and I was like, wow, this is actually, that just became a lot better. So I'm like, just drawing that one Dora tile made my hand like a lot better.
This is Akanashi,
Mhm.
right?
This is Akanashi, and I'm like, wow, what an interesting game. One tile.
Dora are very strong.
Riichi.
All right. Oh, sorry, my scroll wheel. I'm doing this via scroll wheel, so if it is jumpy, sorry about that.
Riichi.
Okay, I wasn't really expecting the reach from Kamicha.
I mean, you're fine. You've got plenty of safe tiles.
Yeah, so, but I was just like, that's pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, now you're Shanten.
Now, yeah, now I'm Chitoi Shanten. All right. Did you want to go and take a look at when they cut the Dora?
Sure. I mean, you're not going to play against them again this
Yeah,
league, right?
but it might be interesting to see.
Yeah, their hand is kind of trash,
I see.
but it's all number tiles, so I guess that's their threshold.
All right.
Yeah, because you mentioned like you look through some of the Paifu for the other players, so like that's one of the things you should be looking for.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was just mainly looking at how they fold, like whether they fold well. And then I kind of look at their discards and see if there's anything interesting. But I guess I didn't really notice when they cut Dora.
I guess related to this topic, are there things that we should be looking for when we look at Paifu? Like, is there like a top 5 things to try to spot
For your opponents or just
for your
in
opponents?
general?
I think it depends on whose Paifu you're looking at.
What's the context? What's the full context, Simon?
I mean, we're just talking about it right now. I just because I've looked at Paifu before, but I'm not sure if I'm looking for the right things.
Yeah, like I think one of the things that people might automatically look for is like how they discard and then they compare it to what they would normally discard, right? So like efficiency would be one of the things they would look for. But is that really important? Because when I mentioned it to Bryant was like, no, a more effective way would be to not look at their hand, but look at their discards instead. And then look at their hand and see, why did they do certain things. So
yeah, you'll see if there are people who dump blocks. Like it's to measure their speed.
yeah. So is there like a
Maneuvers
top?
during different stages of their hand.
Are there top
I see.
things that you should focus on?
Wait, the thing that Bryant said, is that for when you're researching them to like play against them?
Yeah, that's the context that I'm asking the question in.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not sure how useful it is to just like look at their discards and then maybe check their hand afterwards. Like, I mean, it's going to be more useful than nothing, but why not just see how they actually play their hands?
I think it's more readily applicable.
I think I see both points. I think there is useful signal in seeing how they actually play, like, things like efficiency and decision making based on the hand, but also I see the point Brian's making. Like, when you're playing against an opponent, you only see their discards and their calls. So it's trying to suss out, like, if this person cuts a Ramen or a Kanchan or something, is that actually something that, like, what does that mean? And trying to it might be a more efficient way of researching opponents, I guess.
But like, you won't know what that means unless you actually look at their hand.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
yeah,
saying
no, so
you should look at that after.
right, so you go through just looking at discards and calls, see if there's anything weird, like, is it like normal, and then you open their hand and see, like, maybe why they made that decision, and if it's like an actual useful thing to look for a particular opponent.
So to clarify, are you saying to look at their hand at each step that you find weird, or just the entire way, uh, or at just the end? Like, what is
Probably
the
at well, to me it'd be at each step, right? Like, if there's something weird I spot and I'm trying to, like, potentially make a read off of it or trying to understand, like, what it may mean.
I'm also
That's
not
probably
arguing that you should do that exclusively. But like one thing to know is like, are these like slim players? Because some people are just fat.
Can you define that?
What like
Well,
some
like,
people will trim down their blocks, right?
but you
Because they
could
don't
al
want to do it.
you could just see that from how they play. You
Yeah,
don't
you
have to.
could, you could. So from that perspective, you should look at their hands first.
I mean, can you define that? What a slim versus fat player?
Slim is when a player, like, cuts tiles earlier.
Well, the most extreme example, right, is like some people would give up their perfect Ishanten and hold a safe tile instead.
The most extreme slim player would do that, right?
It's just hold like like more strict definition is holding safe tiles equal to the amount of Shanten you are at. So like instead of keeping follow-up tiles to strengthen your blocks, you're just holding safe tiles in that space instead.
And a fat player would not do that, right?
Yeah, it's complete opposite.
I mean, it's just normal to hold tiles that strengthen your blocks.
Yep.
Is it a fat player or a thick player?
Oh, I like that better, actually.
Thick player.
Thick. How
Okay.
many C's we're talking about?
Thick.
It depends on number of Shantan.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
All right.
But anyway, I mean, seeing how the opponents play in the Paifu, just like their normal efficiency, their push fold balance, their like how they actually fold, how they react to calls. But the thing is, like, depending on who you're watching, like some of these things might not apply.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Dora thing, like seeing how and when they cut the Dora, that applies to pretty much everyone.
Okay.
That's probably the most important one as well.
And I mean, if you just can see that they're like their efficiency is poor, they're just like randomly going back Shantens or whatever, then you probably don't need to research any further.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, moving back to this hand. Definitely have a lot of terminals and honors here.
Why 9-pin?
Okay, so let me talk about the merits of keeping 9-pin first. Keeping 9-pin would allow me, like if I got a 7-pin Dora, that would turn into a Nobiton, so I could find a pair that way. And then if I draw 7-pin, I could also see it as 7, 8, 9, and then 6-pin would be left as another floating tile, and then I can accept another Dora, right?
Yeah, it's more being able to accept 2 Dora.
Okay. So yeah, that's the merits of keeping 9-pin. Why did I throw it here? Honestly, it's because I don't think I will finish my hand, but probably not a great answer.
I mean, if you don't think you'll finish your hand, why not? I mean, there's other tiles that you can cut,
It's true.
but like, why give up on the chance to like potentially draw 2 Dora and then have like a ridiculously good hand?
It's a good yeah. That would improve my hand dramatically if I draw 2 Dora here.
In that case, what's the best discard for this starting hand?
Probably 1 so.
Probably one mon, right?
I would cut 1 mon.
Yeah.
1 so like maybe you get E2.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably not.
maybe
but-
you get Itsu. Is this
But it's better than Wonmon, right? Wonmon doesn't give you any Yaku, really.
to keep? Yeah. But I was just thinking from a pure efficiency perspective, like one.
Yeah.
better.
That.
From a pure efficiency perspective, you should cut
G high.
and I mean, like, you could still get Sozu Honitsu.
Yeah, I mean,
Like you pair up 1 so, 9 so, or G high, and it's like, okay, this might be something.
this might be so the Honitsu.
But if you stick something to 1 mon, it's nothing.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3 Sancho. Right.
Oh my gosh.
Why don't you just cut your 4, 5, 5, 6 so and go for Junjon?
You're right. That's basically the same. 1 mon is probably
Boom.
great.
Oh,
Interesting.
What are we thinking about?
What
this
are we
1 mon?
thinking here? Yeah. So first thoughts are Yakuhai. Manzu Honitsu, possible, but why cut the tune so fast? Chanta, maybe, but why cut the tune and 2-pin so fast? So my first thought is Yakuhai.
I think that's reasonable. So
What's
so
your
don't-
second thought?
My second thought was the ones I just talked about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So don't cut Yakuhai
Yes.
from a hand that probably won't win.
3 so, interesting.
So after the 3 so cut,
Yeah.
like it's pretty clearly not Honitsu, right? Like the 6-pin, they could have been like, well, if I stick a Dora to this, like it could just be normal hand, but 3 so, unless they break up a block involving it, and even then, it is probably still not going to be Honitsu.
Yeah, fair point.
Did you do any research into how much the other players look for Honitsu?
From what I recall, I don't think they go for Honitsu all that aggressively.
That's pretty normal to not.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, not that it made any difference in my thought process, but like it's clearly that Yakuhai, like that Yakuhai probably shouldn't throw it.
I'm sorry, Nemo, when you say it's pretty typical for people not to, do you mean most players that generally play online, or?
Yes.
Okay.
So like obviously I'm excluding the players who just don't know what they're doing and they only go for Honitsu or Toy Toy, those like newer players, right?
Mm-hmm.
But people who play on like online ranked games, especially Akaadi, they're not really gonna look for Honitsu because it's just not worth it most of the time. It's a lot more valuable to just win quicker hands. So even if they have like 2 pairs of Yakuhai, they just might be like Pon 2000. Like that's it. So in general, I wouldn't expect most of the players in this pool to look for Honitsu very much.
But it's interesting though. Now the one so came out, right? So it was a 1-3 Kanchan. So that's a bit interesting. Would that tip you off as being suspicious? Or
I mean,
could it just be an extra block?
that means that they have enough blocks, or they decided to go for Honitsu or some other Yaku like Toy Toy. But again, Honitsu and Toy Toy are unlikely because they cut the Chun early.
Mm-hmm. So that Chun is really telling, right?
And at this point, they didn't call the other 2 Yakuhais.
That's right.
So it's like a Chinitsu then?
Might be Chinitsu, yeah.
Probably not Chinitsu.
Probably not.
If it were,
You would keep
you would keep the Chun for later.
Yeah. If you opened up like 10 Manzu, right, or even 9 Manzu, and then like 1-3 so 6 Pin Chun, you'd be like, okay, this is Chinitsu. Like you wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah. But it's interesting. That one Chun discard, right? All of those things that we just talked about, it eliminates or greatly lessens the chance of, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, all 3 dragons have passed, and then they're Tone, so Tone is the last one, and they don't call that one either. So likelihood.
So the shot.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, you finish first.
Yeah. So is the likelihood of Chinitsu higher now?
Because of the shot?
Because all of the Yakuhai have passed, and they didn't call it first. Let's talk about that one first.
Well, now that the Tone passed, because like when the Tone was still available, it'd be like, well, they're probably just double Tone.
Right.
But now that the Tone has passed, it's like, what could it actually be? Because you can see 2 Tone. It's not like they have an Akko.
Mm-hmm.
So now you should be worried about all those Yaku that were mostly eliminated, like very unlikely before, because now there's no other options really. It's Toy Toy or Honitsu or Chinitsu or both. Toy Toy and well, I mean, it's more likely a single suit hand, like, but it could be Toy Toy with Dora, because like there's no Yakuhai left.
Also, you don't have a lot of Monzo in your hand, which probably tilts it a little bit towards their hand as well.
Yeah, it'd still be kind of weird for them to not just to have enough Monzu that they weren't committed to Monzu, but then they suddenly changed their mind upon being able to pull the 1 Mon. It's just kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you should definitely be wary of expensive Yaku now, since the Yaku high option is gone.
Yeah, so that's why I held on to the 8-mon for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably just going to fold this hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it was Shinitsu.
Okay, can we look at their starting hand? Oh, really? I mean, 2 pin cut seems fine. You want to just keep going?
Yeah.
Oh, they were okay with the E2, or they're just okay with this hand.
They were okay with Ipeko Nomi.
Yeah.
This is very Tenho player like.
Very Tenho player like?
I don't think it's bad though.
No, it's not bad.
Wait, why is it
mean by
Tenho
that?
player like?
because they'll settle for like almost nothing, even though they're like very clearly have a Mangan chance.
Okay.
I mean, Reach, Pingfu, Ipeko.
I mean, if they drew 8 mon first, it looks like they would have taken the 2, so it wouldn't be Pinfu. It would have just been Riichi Ipeko
Oh,
for
yeah, you're
30.
right. Reach, Sumo. Good enough.
Riichi
Good enough.
Peikoto.
Ura, manga.
Or a chance is kind of low, but
They'll
I'm
settle
hearing
for it.
Ura too.
sure. But Ura 2 doesn't increase the value more than Ura 1 if you Sumo. But yeah, that's why like I mentioned when the 3-so was cut, it's like unless they cut a block from it. But even then it's unlikely. But then they cut the shot afterwards. It's like, okay, all the Jihai have passed. You should be sus now.
Yeah.
Long.
All right.
And also part of it is like your hand was kind of bad.
Mm.
If your hand was really good, you just be like, whatever, ignore them, just push. So that's why like all this sort of like reading your opponent's discards to see like what they have,
Mm-hmm.
it means a lot more when you're unsure of what to do with your own hand.
Okay.
It's like if you're Mangan Nishanten, you're just gonna push whatever. Like it doesn't matter what they have, right?
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, unless I'm like first or something and they're second, then maybe I consider. But yeah, most situations.
Yeah.
Okay. This one looks pretty good. So I'll cut
Mhm.
Jihai. Oh, probably should have cut non first.
Why?
Because Genbutsu for dealer.
Are you saying you
What?
wouldn't be happy pairing up the non?
I already have a pair of Tupin.
You're non-cha.
Call for non Dora.
You don't have to call. You could onko it up. I mean, you're technically the Anshanten, but 2 of your blocks are bad.
Oh.
See, you made a right cut after all. And this is the 6th block.
This is a 6
6
blocks.
blocks.
Yes.
Love to see it.
Do you approve this 6 block decision?
I mean, this 6 blocks is fine because you're not missing out on any tile
All right,
acceptance.
accepted.
What? This is normal.
All right.
I'm the one who told you should keep the non
Made the normal play
for once.
for once. What? Would you call non?
I mean, you can.
Would you call 7 so?
No. Now you probably pat. Well, you're still the Anshanten. You could still call.
Why?
Yeah. I mean, 9 mon is definitely a safe tile against everyone. It looks like.
Yeah, that's why I decided to go down to 5 blocks here.
That's not bad.
I mean, you should probably still keep the penchant.
Okay.
Like penchant looks safe against dealer. If you really need to fold, you can cut non and then maybe get Pinfu instead.
Pom.
Yeah, this late you should definitely call. Was pay safer tile than 9 mon?
There's 1 discarded and pay Cha didn't call it.
No. It's still not. That doesn't make it safer.
No, 9 mon was safer.
9 mon's 100% safe.
Chi. Dom.
Mangandama. Actually, wait. They could. It's just it would have been Tayaldora otherwise.
Can we hold on? Show the board. I think all the 8-mon are dead, right? So this is fine.
Oh yeah. Wait. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is normal then.
Okay.
地
Yeah, if like the 8-mon were live, then it'd be like you should Riichi that, but no, all the 8-mon are gone, so this is confirmed non-gone.
Okay. Not bad.
ポン
I mean, with your point situation, like it doesn't even matter if you get third as long as you're above 30k. So you shouldn't really worry too much about getting higher placement because the is so small anyway.
Oh, you're pretty close.
Hmm.
But I mean, yeah, obviously getting first is better, but going into this set of Hanshan, like you were like way in the lead, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Uma is set up. It's like you get +1 from positive third. It's not that much worse than +9 from first.
Yeah.
So in this sort of rule set, you're not really going to be greeting hard for first or even second, so long as you're positive.
Right. Okay.
So this is the Uiso, right? Why'd you cut Hatsu?
Ah, that was a
No.
mistake.
Oh my god, I can't believe you threw it away.
I mean, you have 3 the Uiso blocks. It's not unreasonable.
Hmm.
What's the
And
better
even
cut
if they'll
then?
still good Honitsu.
Yeah, I mean, you could also get Honi too.
I
Like
could
just
still
cut
yeah, just cut.
Yeah.
cut 7 peen maybe. You could also cut 1 or 3 mon.
Yeah.
I mean, you can keep 3 mon because you could get like 2, 3, 4 Sanshoku,
Yeah.
Okay.
but like 7 peen is probably just the most
Standard. Yeah.
balanced. Well, not standards is you just cut G high, but
Most balanced. Okay.
yeah.
All right.
ポン
Wasn't gonna be Dewey, so.
It could be your pair. You don't know. You could Tonki on it, and then they might throw it to defend, and then deal into 32,000 or 48,000.
48,000. Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't know.
ポン
All right. Looks like everyone has Yakuhai only. At most Doradora, but there's already 2 out.
No, I don't. Yeah, no one has Dora.
Yeah. So,
Shimocha would have called it if they had 2.
oh yeah. I mean, if people had 2, then obviously they would call it.
Yeah, and 2 are out. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
Doesn't want
do-
Suanko?
Do you not like Ishanten?
Nah.
so what? Interesting.
So my thought process here was like, in order for 1133 to be 2 blocks, it would be either 123 123 or 111. Oh, like, or one of them becomes an Onko.
Yeah.
1 pin's gone, 1 2 pin's gone, and then I have 3 pairs. And so I rather would go back and then have 2 floating tiles. Was my thought process.
Yeah, but like your manga on Ishanten, what do you not like that?
I guess I don't really I didn't really think the Sanonko would finish, but yeah, I guess I should
mean,
keep that possibility.
Yeah, it
alive.
probably won't finish. Yeah, it probably won't finish, but like why throw it away because it's still possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Toyman and Shimocha probably don't have the last 1 peen. They could be in the wall.
Okay.
And you can still fix the shape like later. It doesn't have to be at this point that you have to go back to Shanten to fix the shape.
Okay.
And I mean, you could also fix the shape with Sozu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you didn't have the San Anko or like even Chitoi potential with this hand, then it'd be fine to cut one pin and look for a good shape Tanyao. But given like the rest of the shape, you probably shouldn't do this.
Okay.
And like here, you could have been Chitoi Ishanten as well as San Anko or Ipeko Ishanten.
Mm-hmm.
I guess going back, what would you have cut? Was it 3-mon or 7-pin?
Probably 7 pin because you can still get Sanshoku.
Okay.
Pom.
You didn't want Ponten?
Are you spooked of dealing in to these 3 open hands or something?
No, I'm not sure why. No, to answer your question, no, I'm not spooked. But
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking at this time, like, could non-Honitsu be a possibility? And if so, then that would probably be what, 39, maybe 52.
But you can just
Does
fold
that-
when it comes to it.
Yeah, does that really change anything
No,
on
probably
whether
not,
you
huh?
pawn or not?
Yeah. First of all, if like it'd be unlikely that they're Tenbai for Honitsu with the 6-0 Tadashi. And even if like even if you draw Manzu later, like you pawn 6-0, you take the Tenpai and you draw Manzu later and you're too afraid to throw it, you can just fold. It's not like it's a Riichi.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you cannot pawn that and still throw the scary Mansu.
Yeah, so like throwing like not taking Tenbai and then still throwing Manzu is not consistent.
Okay.
So what they have? Oof.
Hmm.
Takame. But that's just unlikely that they ended up with non-Honitsu 5-sided weight with no overflow.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that there was no overflow was the reason I was
See, if you
willing to cut
pwned,
it.
you would
Yeah,
have
if I
pulled the
pawned,
Zell
then
back.
it wouldn't have happened.
They would have pulled it back to Zell. Zell might have dealt in.
Yeah, actually punished.
For once.
But it's
Thank
yeah, okay.
What do we think of this hand?
It's average.
7 out of 10.
That's average for you?
That's such a high rating.
I don't know, man.
That's average for you?
I'm IGN.
You might what?
I am IGN.
He reviews games.
Yeah, and I only give out 7s and 8s and 9s.
Oh, I see.
It's not a terrible hand.
No, it's not bad, but I don't know if it's a 7.
It isn't a 7.
Pom.
It's Tanya.
Chi.
Oh yeah.
Should you really be keeping like
Chi.
3 pin 7 pin over the 3-mon?
Yeah, I
With
think
that shape.
3-mon is a mistake.
Yeah, I did notice that. I was like, ooh, maybe 3-mon might have been a little bit better. But yeah,
So what's Shimocha doing?
what is Shimocha doing?
Yeah, they pull one so.
Nyakuhai maybe, or Chanta? No,
Yeah,
not
Dora
Chanta, not
3.
Chanta. Sorry, what?
Dora.
Yeah, it's
The only,
possible.
yeah, like I mean, it's Haku or non, right?
Yeah, it's Nyakuhai. And then Toyman is Binzu, right? Although the first Hatsu was interesting, but I mean, they threw 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like it could very well be Pinzu.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a 两抗区 though.
Yeah. So, but it's like it's weird that they would cut the Anmin and then keep the Ankon. So
Mhm.
that's why like it could be Pinzu.
Mhm. It is Pinzu.
It's Honitsunomi.
Yes.
You should probably be thankful that that happened because Shimocha might have had the Dora.
Actually, I'm curious now. What? Oh, it's not.
Oh, they had one. So they were just in the wall.
Yeah, two were in the wall. I could have dealt it.
Or
Wait,
are you
Actually-
gonna deal it?
Actually, yeah. Am I gonna deal it?
I hope you don't, man.
I know, right? Do you want to go?
Sorry.
Can you go back to the 4-mon cut from Toyman? Okay, this looks reasonable.
Mhm.
It is very blurry on Discord now, but
Oh,
looks
It-
reasonable.
okay.
Oh, it's good again.
Yeah, see, it's like many online players and like I guess Western players included. They only really go for Honitsu when it's just kind of already done, like this.
Okay.
And that's to be fair, that's what Riichi Book 1 tells you. They're like, oh, only go for it, or you can go for it when it's done.
Hmm.
And sad that it's still only 2,000.
I know, right?
Okay.
So what are you thinking with this hand?
Honitsu. Or just get Tudora.
Mhm.
Okay. So what? Okay, Amon first is fine. What now?
It's either between the 2-mon or the 8. So,
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
and then the merits of keeping 2-mon is that Sanshoku is possible. So it should be 8, so right?
It should be 8, so I hope.
You don't sound confident.
Oh no.
I didn't keep it.
Are you
I
like
mean,
horny
now-
to throw the same suit?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You have to think it through each time. It's not always just finish cutting one suit before you start the other suit. No. I mean, with the Dora the Onmen here, like you could get Riichi Itsu Dora, like that'd be totally fine.
What's the play here?
I mean, like Cheetoy is a possibility now, and then I could, or even if I don't go for Cheetoy, I could still accept another Dora, and then it would be 2-2-3-3.
You can accept Dora even if you cut 3 so though.
Yeah. Oh wait. Oh yeah, and then use that as a pair.
Yeah. I'm not saying that you should cut 3 so. I'm just saying even if you cut 3 so, you can still use
Okay.
up one
No
or two
matter
more
what I
Dora,
do, I can accept Dora. Is what I'm saying.
unless you cut the Dora.
Yes, this is this is true.
How are you evaluating the Chitoe versus the Honitsu here? Are you still going for Honitsu or pretty much just whatever comes?
I mean, if I were to look at this board right now, I would be like, Pinzu look kind of expensive. So I would probably veer a little bit away from Honitsu. and keep the Chitoi a little bit more alive by not cutting 3-so or something like that.
That sounds reasonable.
I agree.
Yeah.
Then do you get rid of one of your Pinzus? Or do you get rid of the Chun?
That's a good question. So, looking at the shape of this hand, if you were to parse it out into blocks, this 9-pin really doesn't... Like, okay. Like, if you were to parse it into blocks, then you might parse it into 1-1 as your pair, 3-4 as a Liangmen, and then 4-6-8 as a Liangkan. This is one way to parse it, right?
But what about the tune?
But what about the Chun? You could cut the Chun as well, but I'm just saying for the Pinzu shape, if you were looking to cut something from the Pinzu.
Are you thinking there's going to be how many total blocks in Pinzu?
I mean, if you were going for Honitsu, then it might be 4, but probably will be 3. From how it is right now.
2.5 with your pair, right? Or 4-3.
I mean,
I mean, the pair is still a block. It's not half a block.
I know, but I think it's better to count it like that.
yeah. I mean, another way you could look at it.
Very Taiwanese of you.
No, I heard it in Japan first before I started saying that.
Yeah, another way you could parse it, I guess, is like 1-1-3, 4-4-6, and then 8-9. In which case, the 9 would actually do something for you. And then,
I mean, if you parse it that way, that means you're looking at Itsu,
right,
which means 3 blocks.
yeah. So, anyways, do I cut Chun? I do. Okay,
I mean, that's normal.
I did the normal
Pinzu do
thing.
look, Pinzu do look very expensive, so it's probably not a good idea to force Pinzu Honitsu.
Okay. How about the strat of cutting 6-pin before Chun?
6-pin? Did not consider 6-pin. Hold on, let me go back.
Why 6-pin?
It doesn't lower acceptance.
It doesn't lower acceptance, and then if you're Chitoi Tenpai, it's a little more baity. And you're also slimming down on probably the most expensive Pinzus.
Do you really want to miss out on drawing 5-pin and then still having a 2-5-pin Liangmen though?
Yeah, I think it's a personal choice actually, but it's I think it's considerable.
It's just
It
your
could be
style.
considered. No, I'm saying this is I think you can consider it at least.
I think if you cut 6-pin, like you're looking very heavily at Chitoi. In which case you'll probably just end up cutting a lot of your Pinzu anyway.
Yeah.
So then you're not looking at Chitoi.
No. I was thinking Patsu comes out, I'll just pawn, and then I keep the 5-mon for Nakasuji for Kamicha. And then the 5-mon I pair.
For Nakasuji.
Yeah, and then I could also set up a Nakasuji trap as well. No, that's not the reason. For Nakasuji for Kamicha, yeah.
And then you don't pull Nahatsu.
Oh
yeah,
no.
yeah, because then at this point, right, I pair it up, and I'm like, oh,
3 blocks, 3 pairs.
too many blocks. What do? I have too many blocks.
You can finish one of them.
Probably should just take it. Because if I don't, then what? I have to reach Dora? or draw it myself.
相撲
I mean, like not taking it isn't bad because the shape of your hand is still really bad.
Hmm.
But it's normal to just take it and then cut Pinzu somewhere. So this is just like a normal Pinfu, hopefully Tanyao hand.
Yep. I don't think there's anything to say about this one. Draw a really good 3-mon right there.
地 地 リーチ ロン ポン
Okay. Double non-chun. Pretty good.
So why do you cut the one so?
It's possible. Well, first of all,
ポン
why do I cut the one so? Because if I can get more Jihai, then I might consider Honitsu.
Okay. That's good.
Also, like one so, like the only way I can really use it in a sequence is 2-3. But 6-0 is good for, you know, floating tile. So
ポン
Yeah, but like look at your hand shape now. You're like really weird Yanshan 10. Like you need a pair, you have a Kanchan, and like this hand's unlikely to be more than 39.
hmm.
And if someone like Riichi's early, you're gonna be in trouble.
Are you saying to keep the pay after the poll?
And
Or
the
are
shot.
you talking about the Shah?
I mean, it could be both.
ポン
See, personally, I will like 100% keep the pay here.
Yeah,
And then throw 6-0 or like 9-mon.
9-mon.
Okay.
I mean, if you still want to look for Honitsu, then you can, I guess. But then you probably should have kept the Shah as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like you still need a pair, so these floating tiles on the edge, like 9-mon and Tupin, they don't really do that much for you anyway. Like you might as well hold tiles that are safe. And if you end up on a Tonki, then it's an okay Tonki as well.
Mm. Okay. Oh, would you cheat the Liaomen right now?
You can, just because getting that much closer to Tenpai means something, and like you could scare the other players into stopping.
Oh, okay.
I think if you pair up the 6-mon, you should probably keep the 9-mon. Like you could still get Honitsu.
Okay.
Like what is a Tupin doing for you?
It's only a mildly better floater.
Yeah.
Yeah, like pairing up the 9-mon would be great. You draw like 4-mon or 7-mon. You make two blocks out of that, and then it could be a Honitsu.
リーチ
All right. Toyman
And now-
throws Dora.
And now you're still the Anshanten, and you're still in trouble.
So, I mean, you should just cut Dora here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Nice.
What are you doing?
A lot of sweeties left.
That's
no,
exactly
no.
what was going through my mind.
No.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no.
Oh my god.
how many Sujis is a lot of Sujis? Did you count them?
All right, moving on.
Never punished.
I mean, Mangan
I
Tenpai.
was- I mean, yes, when you're Mangan Tenbai, you can push.
Manga Tenpai.
You weren't Mangan Tenbai when you pushed 5 money Patsu.
See, I'll defend Aaron. You only have one safe tile to throw anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but dealing in Ipatsu to 4th place would be like the worst thing that could happen.
All right, Aaron, you're on your own.
Look, I still got my last dealer. Okay,
Last dealer.
all last.
What's the plan?
Just play it straight. No need to greed for Honitsu here.
What do you cut first?
Just Renchon. What do I cut first?
Yeah.
Probably Chun. Or Tom. No, probably Chun.
Yeah, you should probably cut Chun first.
What?
Oh no.
Okay.
Immediately
Oh,
punished.
you missed your Ishanten. You missed your Tenpai.
Yeah.
Boom.
Finally punished.
Finally punished.
Chi.
Is that okay? To Dama?
Yeah, why wouldn't it be?
Okay.
What would you cut 6 bean?
No. I mean to Dama.
Oh yeah, I mean it's
Definitely.
probably fine because the other 2 players, right? They're going to try not to Riichi. They're going to try and Dama if they're any good, right?
Okay.
And if they happen to win from Toymen, like just say they win Pin Funomi from Toymen, then you get to keep 3rd place.
Okay.
But if you Riichi, the other 2 players will probably just fold, and then you'll be 1-on-1 with Toymen, and that I feel like that has worse odds for you
Okay.
than if you like let other players deal with Toymen for you. And then if I mean this is already 77, like it's fine. What do you think, Brian?
Oh, I'll definitely Dama just because I can call the Hatsu.
That's also a good point.
Okay, what now?
You're supposed to take the best way here.
Do I take the best weight here?
What is the best way here?
694.
Hmm?
What about the 369?
369.
Do I take 369?
You also the 4 is also kind of Suji.
Also kind of
I take 369. All right, there we go.
All right, good job.
yeah, as
You
long
almost
as
did
you-
a me.
just don't
Oh,
cut
you
8
missed.
for
You
the
missed.
Nakabukure
Yeah.
Nakabukure.
Not
combo.
gonna say.
Boom. Chi.
Should you Kadagiri?
Would that make people think it's around Manzu? And also
You
potentially.
already threw so many monsters before.
Okay.
I know, right?
Like
Like normally,
is this the time?
Sorry,
Is
what?
the time?
normally, normally you Kadagiri because then yes, you would want people to think that you have something around Manzu, but like Brian said, you cut so many Manzu already. It's like if you cut 3 Mon, they'll be like, oh, well, if they're reading, which they're probably not, but if they're reading, they'll be like, oh, he just has a block in Manzu already.
Oh.
1、4、
Were you punished?
It looks like it.
Missed Tempai. Third turn.
Punished, yes, he is finally punished.
I mean, like if you reach a 3rd turn, like everyone's probably just gonna fold. And that's a lot better, everyone folding on the 3rd turn than letting their hands advance for several turns and then they get to a point where they can't fold, like after Toyman makes 2 calls.
All right. That's it. That's the game.
GG.
Got him.
So, any main takeaways from this?
Don't miss your calls.
Just take Tempai.
Tempo.
I mean, in general, if you can call for Tempai, winnable Tempai, then that's very strong in and of itself, because Tempais are very strong. So unless you're like giving up a ton of value by doing so, then you normally just take Tempai.
Okay. Sounds good. Any major things I should work on?
I mean, a lot of the stuff that happened in this Hanshan was like all different. So I think that double non-chun call, like your calling balance maybe could be better.
ポン、
Calling
like
balance?
you're calling, yeah, because like you're calling twice and then you're still the Anshan 10 with bad shape.
So you're saying I
And, like, it-
shouldn't call?
No, like calling these is fine because
Boom.
it gives you a chance at high value, but you should be maybe holding safer tiles instead of like this 9 mon and 2 ping that don't really do anything anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to be one of those players that calls but never deals in, and this is how you do it.
Okay. Improve on calling but never dealing in. All right.
I mean, like, not dealing in is already a good thing, even when you're men's in, but being able to do it after you have less tiles in your hand, that's takes a lot more skill.
Right. Okay. Makes sense. I'll end the recording here. Thank you.